All right. It should be live now. I did just start streaming. I was talking for the last couple minutes and realized I started on private and already sent the links out. But it should be public now. All right, we are remaking Zelda 1 in Godot with a Game Boy Color style. Assets are from the Awakening tile set that you could find on itch. We're using Godot 4.6, just came out a couple days ago. I'm using NeoVim is the ID over here. Just gonna say that first because that was the most asked question last stream. And yeah, yesterday, what we got covered, we got this Octorok who can walk around, shoot rocks. Rocks bounce off walls. And we also finished the sword that the player can hold. At least all of the states that the player can go into and all of the moves that the sword can do. Which is pretty much swinging, charging, spin attacking, and poking. Got a cute little poke effect on the walls, but you could also poke the enemies and no effect. You can hold, but if the sword hits the enemy mid-swing, I'm still holding down right now, but you can see it didn't go into the hold state. So that's where we're at right now. The player can't take damage yet. That is one thing I can work on today, but what I primarily want to work on today is enemy spawns. So in the past, what I would do is I would have some kind of actors tile map here. Let's see. Judosi, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for calling me out on it being private. I would have gone a little longer without realizing. Previous, what I would do here is have some sort of actor tile sets. I wouldn't use this whole sprite sheet. I would probably make an individual sprite sheet that I add to. And then, hold on. Oops, I don't know the controls for this. Okay, middle click. I would place them individually onto the scene. Hold on 1 second, I'm muting my phone. Place them individually onto the scene, and then when the scene is loaded, I would hide this tile map and spawn all the enemies where they were placed. A new method that has been added somewhat recently in the last year or 2 or 3, I think around 4.3 was the version, is we can add scenes straight into the tile map scene collection here. So I could technically just take the Octorok right here, drag him in here, and oops. And this is now a tile that we could place straight into the map like those other ones. Oh, I never actually tested multiple enemies at once, so they're all using the same texture. All right, we got the same shader. How do I fix that? I think I can I have to make the material unique, which I think is on their sprite 2D. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's fix that before I go into what we're working on today. We have hits shader material is equal to sprite material. Let's create a new sprite material as we load instead. So okay, is that good? Can't set shader parameter on a null value. Where's that? It's in player. Still not working. Maybe I could have just set it the way that I just had it and then duplicate the material. Alright, let's undo what I just did. What is all this? This is the wrong project. Shader equals shader duplicate. Does that work? Oh, now it's not running it at all. All right. Start with the sword so we can test this a little faster. Alright, still not updating the shader. Not throwing any errors either. Can I look at these guys? What is your material? Interesting. So it's got it. Hmm. Alright. Sprite material equals new shader? No. Interesting. This shader is external to the scene. Click to make it unique. No, that's not it. So why are they all using the same material? Sprite material equals new shader. I don't understand. Did I do this in a previous version? What am I missing here? Let's go to actors. Where's my actor, GD? Here it is. God, I can't spell. Okay. How's that? Unsafe property. Property shader is not present on material. Should be though. No? Oh, does this work? No. Where am I? Cannot call set shader parameter on a null value. Because that's still not getting called on the player. Alright, so I'm just repeating what I was starting and quit before trying to duplicate. But yeah, let's try it again. Initialize shader. Take these, put it here. And then go to player. What null value? 129 on actor. Yeah, so what's the problem? It's complaining and players ready. Player 56. What's up, Mr. Squarepeg? Hold on, I've been stuck on something I didn't realize was an issue for the last 20 minutes. Something that I had working in a previous version, but I can't quite get it to work right now. Just need to duplicate a shader material on instances of actors. Just got up. Good morning then. It's almost noon here. Wednesday is one of my days off. Do I have to duplicate? No, because the parameters are set per material, not per shader in the material, I believe. $10 a.m. We're not too far then. Initialize shader. Now, okay, let's go back to what I was trying earlier. Instead, I will save this shader material as actor material. Then we'll go to the actor. use this instead. And sprite material will be actor material duplicates. Which still does not quite work. Player 40. Hurt shader. Oh, cool. Now I'm not setting that. Okay. Sprite material. Oh, it's not crashing, but it's not working again. God. What am I missing? Can I individually go into these and change their shader state? Like, what's your material? They're all still using the same one, and I can't even call it from code anymore. All right, Google time, Godot, duplicate material. Local to scene, is that it? Does that help me here? Not yet, but does it? Okay. Okay. So it is just local to scene, but now it's not updating, or it's not accessible in code for some reason. Is it trying to? All right, it's trying to, but this isn't doing anything. I don't think I can call sprite material like that, yeah. Okay, that seems to have done it. Gosh. All right. So where was I? 25 minutes later. What we're adding today, this was the first time I tried multiple enemies on the scene apparently, so I never tested if the shader actually works if there are multiple actors, because otherwise they all share the same shader state. So if one of them gets hit, they all flash. But we fixed that. what I want to add today is spawns. So if I walk into the next room here, I want to start spawning Octoroks. Zelda 1 has a couple spawn types, I'll say. No, I don't actually want sound. Where is it? Core options. All right. So if I walk into this room, you could see they all spawn at the other side of the screen, or just, oh, sometimes they just, maybe they just pick random spots on the edge of the screen that the player did not enter from. That's kind of what it looks like to me. They'll either come from the right or the top if I came from the left. But if I were to come from the right, top, will they appear at the left at all? Oh, they'll appear at the right too. Maybe it's just totally random what side they appear on. Or they'll never appear on the left because that's only one tile. Well, I'm not going to be adding the on the sides of the screens first, because the simpler spawning that they have is they'll just pick 4 random spots anywhere on the screen, or maybe closer to the center of the screen. I don't see them appearing on the left or right at all. But we need to be able to walk into the screen and then it'll spawn 4 guys. Now, how am I going to decide what screen has these 4 guys? That might be a separate problem from the spawns itself. So I think first we're just going to make it so every screen spawns 4 guys. And then after that, we need some sort of way to separate the map into a grid, and then when the player arrives in that grid, spawn those 4 specific guys that grid has. And then after that, we're going to need some way to track the last 8 or so screen positions that the player was in. And if they're in a map that the player hasn't been in the last 8 screens, it'll always spawn them. But if the player has been in that map, in that screen, in the last, oh my god, I'm mixing myself up. Basically, enemies don't respawn until you walk, I think it's 8 screens away from them. But you could like leave one alive, and then that one will stay there. I gotta look at how Zelda 1 handles the state of what enemies should be alive or not. But for now, we just need them to pop up on the screen, okay? I think this is all going to take place in our world script. And it'll be on camera scroll finished. So I need a way to know where on the grid we are. Let's do a new process. And let's see what this says right off the bat. Okay, so we're on grid 7, 7. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks right. So, and then if we move to the next one, it should be 8, 7. All right, and then I won't go to the left. We need to gonna do something on camera scene change. So camera scroll finished connect on camera scroll finished. Does that have an argument? Scroll finish, yes. It tells us what camera we're using. Okay, so that tells us where we're at. Cool. Now, how can we get an actual rectangle of what the camera's boundaries are? I think that should already exist in the camera. Yeah, it's just the limits here. Is that valid code? Hold on. That seems correct to me. So we're gonna look for valid tiles in this rectangle and spawn 4 Octoroks. I don't know if I'm gonna have multiple tile map layers for solid objects. Right now I have the entire map on one layer, and I like that. But if I were to have multiple layers, I would need a more general, just like, test collisions instead of, I can either ask the tile map what tiles are clear, or I can just randomly dot around a bunch of times until it finds 4 locations that are clear. I think randomly dotting around. I don't know what would be faster. But randomly dotting around will let me use more tile maps in the future, so it doesn't lock me down at all. I'm leaning towards not locking myself down. So, how should I do that? I guess I can spawn a raycast and spawn a raycast, place it in a bunch of points on this plane, and if there's a collision, try again. If not, add that to the point. Add that point to a legal points array or something, or just spawn the octaarc right there in the code. Let's just start going. Test ray equal, which is a raycast, which is a new raycast. Is there something in rectangles that will help me get a random point in that rectangle, or do I have to do some integer stuff or random integer stuff? Let's see, rect 2i. I guess let's just pick random positions. So no, not end, size. All right, something like this. And then test ray position equals if test ray is colliding, spawn locations append vector to ran x ran d, and then not colliding. If not, it's colliding. So it'll keep attempting locations until it finds a good one. If it finds a good one, it adds it to our array, and when the array is big enough, it stops. And at the end, we'll test by printing spawn locations. Okay, so that is returning 4 locations that appear to be within our boundaries. If I walk again, it should do the same thing but with larger numbers in the x coordinate. Yeah, okay. So that's looking good. Now we need to just spawn 4 Octoroks there. I'm also going to want to test it by tile size instead of just random points there, because they're probably going to start spawning halfway through tiles with this. That's fine. Let's see. Nope, didn't work. I didn't add them to the duh. It's only one. Let's remove the ones we manually placed. We don't even need this actress tile map. We're not using that anytime soon. And we don't need this guy either. Alright. Why am I getting 5? Okay. Well, they're not appearing. Are they spawning though? Yeah, there's a bunch somewhere. How do I manipulate the camera from this again? Could have sworn there's a way. Does this have to be floating? Okay. So they're they're spawning all over the place. Wow, that looks interesting. What if this is how I made the in-game map? That looks so trippy. Anyway, the red dots are Octoroks. The faster moving dots are rocks. Alright, so why are they spawning so far? Do I have to divide by 16 somewhere? feel like stuff would be easier to see up here. I didn't even know you can type for loops like this. Oh? Alright, they spawned on a cliff. Are they all spawning in the same spot? No, they're not. I can see that they're not, but they're not spawning where I need them to be. There's 2 there. There's 3 here. Okay. Is it spawning 3 at a time? No, it's spawning 4 at a time. There's nothing here though. So I definitely messed up. This section. PEMDAS question mark? He's stuck in a wall. No. Hmm. I feel like this would spawn them way too far to the right. Yeah, and also way too far down. I could see from the wait, no. The numbers look right to me in the output at the bottom left. But they're spawning in walls. Now they're only spawning in walls, but I think they're spawning from no. This doesn't seem right to me. But let's try this just in case I'm absolutely misunderstanding the situation. See, that just froze my game. Did I ever even add the test ray to the scene? Hold on. Okay, well that could have been it. I just never added the test ray to the scene. I don't know why it was working at all. All right, and I still think that I had this right earlier. Ah. I don't know if you can check for collisions this way. Like, does the raycast need the physics frames to update or so? No, because it's all static. I don't know. Yeah, I know it's not Zelda 1. Only looks a lot like it. Yeah, it's a Game Boy Color remake of Zelda 1, but the sprites are placeholders. Yep. Just a side grade, I guess. It's more so, can I implement all of Zelda 1's features with a different game's feel and have it be cohesive. This almost looks like it's working, but they're definitely spawning. Like I wonder if they're spawning in the colliders and then getting spat out. Guess I can keep leaving and re-entering. Alright, maybe I do just need to have it check tile center positions rather than any position, and then that might solve them getting stuck in walls. Because I guess I could see something spawning on the very last pixel or the first couple pixels of the side of screen here, popping over to the left of the wall there. They do appear to be spawning correctly more often than not. So let's snap these to 16 by 16. Now, are they spawning? And let's also turn their processing off so we could actually see what they look like as they spawn in. Should have done that a while ago. Okay, so I just need another offset. Maybe that? Well, they're not appearing. Oh, they're appearing in walls. No good. Some of them are appearing. They are appearing aligned to the grid. Some of them are just appearing wherever they want, so I definitely am missing something here. Yeah, like why? Was I supposed to minus this? That doesn't feel right either. Anyone in walls? Still appearing in walls. And I don't know why that guy's appearing up here. There's a chance that I didn't actually put collisions on most of these tiles, so some of them are allowed to spawn in those walls. Let me put myself back down here. Well, they're not appearing when they're this far down. So it looks like my math's got to be wrong. Because what I think I'm doing is we start with the leftmost of the screen, and then we add a random number oh this is right? We're adding a random number up to the size, the width of it. We start with the absolute left, and then we pick anywhere between the absolute right by just adding a number that is smaller than the width. We do the same thing for the Y position. Let's see where they're spawning again. Okay, they're spawning down there. Just some of them. And let me I can't see. Spawning all over the place. Oh, Spoon Sweet, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're able to find some use out of my content. That's awesome. So it's working, right? It's just got to be divided by 16 then? No. Is that going to make them appear way in the top left of the screen? Yep. Exactly. So it's not divided by 16. It's this plus tile size might be messing it up. Am I missing some parentheses? Not appearing again, but are they appearing in the corner? Yeah, they're appearing out there. Does something here have to be divided by 8? Is this random integer totally wrong? Is there a much easier function that I should be using instead? Ran integer range. What do I use here again? From and to. Okay. Spawn rect position x, spawn rect end x. please? No. So what's that doing? No, that's doing the same thing. All right, why did my... No, put this back. Can I start with override the camera? I don't know. I'd love for that to be toggled where I want it on the start, but why are they so far? What needs to be divided by? Like, would y'all say they're getting multiplied 16 paces out? That's what it feels like to me. Can't just divide by 16. What am I missing? Just do it. I don't understand. So is this actually 1792 by 1216? It is. It is. Are these valid locations? Yes. No. Why is that so much? Why is that so much more? These are thousands apart. So it's getting the wrong number from somewhere. Yeah, so whatever's going wrong is in this while loop. That I am pretty certain of. It doesn't feel like it's my test position here, but it could be. Hold on. Like 3712. That's way out there, right? Yeah, it's way out there. The maximum X should be 2048. Okay, well. No, if I do size here, it's gonna go backwards. No, it's gonna be nearly perfect. Is it size? Is it size? It's size. Okay. All right. Okay. That's working. Yeah. The Godot is engineering all over the place right now. Why are they only spawning in walls now? Alright. I think this has to be a plus. I don't think that raycast is doing anything at all. Is this allowed? Oh, that's... I don't think I'm doing anything super wrong here. I'm doing something wrong. But I don't think I'm... Like, these guys spawns well. That guy didn't. I also don't know which of these... Let's also remove them. Oops. Guys, why are you spawning like that? Is 8 correct? Because there, if I do it without that, they'll spawn. Are they spawning 8 pixels to the top left or to the bottom right of where they're supposed to be? Like they're centered, so I need to do minus. I think. No, I gotta do plus. I'm gonna keep it at plus. Right? Me and the boys when we agree to meet up on Out of Bounds, yeah. See, these guys are working just fine. Does it just not... Is the raycast doing anything? I gotta assume not, because when I remove this not, game just freezes. So the raycast isn't doing anything. What layer are my collisions on? God. So I put these on physics layer 0. That's what a raycast starts with, right? Yeah. Target position still 50. Hold on. Is that it? Is that it? Hold on. It's still crashing. Yeah, so I don't know if the is colliding. Okay. There's likely several things happening here. But this might make it so they don't always prefer spawning in walls, maybe? No. No, no. No. Yeah, I don't think that did anything. Why are you spawning in the tiles? Sure do. Let me program you. Why does it look like these guys are spawning properly? It's just when the actors with collisions. Okay. Yeah, no. These are all spawning properly. All of them. No, not all of them. But that could be because of this. What are my debugger errors? Not static typing here. Error calling from signal scroll finish to callable. I thought I did scroll finished world. Yeah, what is that error? Hold on. Am I emitting it without scroll started emits, scroll finished emit self? That is odd actually. Scroll finished emit self. I guess I've never done that. I don't know why that has only ever appeared now. All right, the rest I don't care about right now. Just warnings. All right, I got lucky the last test because all of them seemed to be spawning correctly, but not quite so lucky this time. What? What did I do? What happened here? What did I what did I copy over here? I don't even know what these are. Yeah, I'm confused. So I don't think the raycast is doing anything at all. I'm pretty sure if I remove everything to do with the raycast, it won't even care. But at least they are all on screen. So how can what's a different way I could check for collisions in a while loop here? The other method I was thinking of is asking the tile map itself. The only reason I didn't want to is in case I had multiple tile maps with solids, but I can always just ask multiple tile maps if I really need multiple tile maps. I think. I would prefer to do it with the raycast. Just knowing what tiles are safe. All right. If Herrick says it, I'll listen. So Do I remember how to do this? There's a world to map function that I need. Tile map layer. Local to map. What does this give me? Does tile data contain collision? Yeah. We're fine. It's a typo. Callable. What? Collision polygons count. What? Layer ID? What do you mean? Is that the physics layer? Is what they mean? I don't know. Okay. Are there 4? There's 3. Could it be choosing the same tile somehow? There's 4 here. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's... Oh, 4. Okay, well that was a lot easier. Sometimes there's only 3 though. I feel like I gotta like. No, still 3. Unless I just can't see it in the top right there. Let's No, I can't do that. Yes, I can. Oh no, there's 4. It's behind the UI. So it's counting that. I think. There might just be. I mean, I guess once I make those other the ground that's above cliffs, if I put collisions here, it's probably most of the cases I gotta worry about. I don't really want them able to spawn where the player enters too. Yeah, if we look at Zelda 1, they tend to spawn in the middle of the screen. So what? I'll just add half the screen size here. And divide this here. Can you stop complaining about integer division, please? Let's just get this working. Understood. Just do it. Collision. Oh, what no value? Does that mean it can't find anything there? Maybe that's not actually giving us any. Set custom properties on tiles. Maybe you could set one to not rely on collision. True, yeah. Like I could even define specifically what tiles I want spawnable and just set those to the center. Like that might be, I don't know if there's anywhere on this map in particular where things could spawn on an island that the player can't reach, but I mean, technically, if I want to just set only tiles that are walkable by the player, I might be able to just like fill, like have a second layer and then, I don't know. First, let me see if I can get this to spawn only in a smaller section here. So the range is a little bit further than the left, up to. Is this supposed to be 2 actually? All right, I'm doing something very wrong here. What's the problem with doing this? Why? Oh, I didn't know about grow. That's actually all I want to have here. It's not working. I don't know why. If this should make it so I should never see anything on the leftmost tile, I think. Are they? It's still only 3 here. Why does that make them all? Won't go there. What if I, instead of doing the full screen, I get the center. Oh, Hmm. Nope. Okay. I don't know why this grow function isn't working the way that I think it is. Returns a copy of this rectangle extended on all sides by the given amount. So if it's at position 4, 4 with a size of 8, 8, that's, hold on, is that correct? Yeah. So if it's at 4 and 4 and has a size of 8, 8, making it bigger should extend this back to 0, this back to 0. Huh? Oh no, yeah. Because it's going 4 to the left and 4 to the right, so it would be 16. Yeah, so why doesn't that give me what I wanted to do? I think negative 8 would actually make it so that they shouldn't appear on the sides. Nope, appeared on the side there. Is there still 4 here? Yeah. Well, this is looking good to me right now. But I feel like I had exactly this 10 minutes ago and it wasn't good enough. But now I don't know what I thought was wrong with it. Here they're on the edge of the screen, but technically it's counting. It's not taking that HUD into account, I should say. So that's fine. Do they ever end up on the edge for left and right or down? Because if not, then those are good. Okay, that's not good. Also, I don't need to do this if I'm doing local map right after. So let's remove that. Oh, maybe I do. Well, I'm inclined to say it's working. Whew, did not think that would take 2 hours. I'm not done yet. We're still got more to do today, but I am gonna go turn the kettle on. I want some coffee. Okay. Sorry if y'all could hear that. It's gonna be loud once it whistles. But yeah, no, we're seeing 4 spawn points appear on the screen, not inside a collision. And that's good. They are still appearing in exits, so I might, yeah, when it's time, I'll add some sort of tile, like a do not spawn tile. Nah, yeah, things are spawning. Yeah. This is looking pretty good. Alright, let's turn these back into Octoroks. Okay. Why is it spawning 2 sets at the beginning? You're spawning too many. So let's also turn their health back down to 0. The death animation's still on loop. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why is it running scroll finish twice? Oh, they're not deleting because of this. Kettle's boiling, 1 sec. I just spilled coffee everywhere. Okay, I'm back. All right. Whoa. Okay. So what happened there? Okay. Sometimes these rocks are spawning. I think they're spawning too high up, and that's causing them to bounce even if they are facing away from the wall. So I gotta keep that in mind. Or just fix it right now. Yeah. I think that's good. you know, that's good enough for me today. Been streaming for 2 hours. I'm gonna call it a stream now. So what we got done today, we fixed the enemy shader running on all enemies when one of them gets hit. So now they no longer all flash if I hit one. Something I didn't even realize was a problem until I started streaming. But that's fixed. And we also can spawn enemies when walking into a new screen and remove them when walking off the screen. I wanted to have the actual how do we define what enemies go on what screen done today. That's what I thought that most of the stream was going to be, but I got stuck on little things, and that's okay. Because this is actually starting to look like a game a little bit. It's getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. What I just said we were gonna do may happen on the next stream, or it may happen off stream. I may stream tomorrow, I may stream in 3 months, we'll see. But thanks so much for popping in anyway when you do see that I'm on. I don't think there's much of a point for me to schedule streams because I don't know when I'm gonna stream. But yeah. That's that.